Hello, I'm Shay. Today we are going to talk about sexual transmutation. You may be thinking, what the hell is that? It sounds like something from a alien movie, right? How do you transmutate this sexual energy? So today I'll be explaining exactly what that is so that you understand it, and we'll start to go into what does it mean? How do I even do that? And where does this show up? So that's what I'm covering in this short video today. To begin with, if you learn this, it's a really powerful way to direct your energy and to direct your focus. It allows you to switch from being in this kind of time-wasted state if we think about watching porn or hookups, and I'll come on to that in a bit, but all of the focus and energy that can be channeled into that. Imagine if you had that same level of energy and focus but channeled on having an impact in the world, doing good in the world, building your business, building your career. It is unmatched. It's an unmatched energy. And if we don't do this, so if we just continue, watching porn or wasting this sexual energy, what does it mean? Well, it means that things stay the same. Perhaps you have found that you've been frustrated with not making progress in your career that you thought was possible, or progress in your life that you thought was possible, and you feel just bugged about the fact you haven't quite got there. So if we don't learn this, things just stay the same for us and we stay stuck. So let me talk a little bit about what exactly sexual transmutation is and where I learned it. When I first heard the term, it was when I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You may have heard of this book or you may not. It is renowned, it's a world-renowned book. It's probably known as the best self-development book of all time, basically, or that's existed so far. And obviously people have different opinions on that, but many people regard this as one of the very best self-development books. It's quite old now, and I've read it probably, I think, 3 times. Usually I will read it once a year. It is a fantastic book that I would recommend to anybody. Definitely has some old school ways of thinking in there that I don't agree with, but the majority of the book, the principles of it are fantastic and have been game-changing in my life, and just an understanding of my mindset and success. And Napoleon Hill, who's the author, talks about sexual transmutation. So this is the first time that I heard it. And I thought, what? Sexual transmutation, what is that? And it wasn't until about 1 or 2 years later that I actually understood what that meant. And how did I understand that? Well, at that point, when I first read Think and Grow Rich, I had no idea that I had a bad relationship with porn and with sex. And it took me still 1.5 years after reading the book to figure that out, working with a coach. That was the first time that I then actually realized how my relationship with porn and sex was causing a destructive impact on my life. And once I learned that and I was able to start shifting and changing those patterns, I had this moment of realization of, shit, I am doing sexual transmutation. This is literally it. I'm taking that energy that I was wasting on porn or on hookups or on sex and shifting it over to focusing on business, focusing on impact in the world. And just to be clear, this is not saying don't have sex, because that's really important, right? Sexual energy, sexual intimacy, these things are really important in the right way. It's an incredible experience, but it's very easy to just be chasing cheap hits, cheap thrills, and that is when we're wasting the energy. And Napoleon Hill talks about how sexual energy is the most powerful energy that we all have. So this is really an absolute game changer if we're able to start shifting wasted sexual energy and focusing it on having an impact. And I've spoken about some of the ways that we do waste it, and it can be easy to do that. Porn, and hookups. They're probably the two that come to mind where most sexual energy is wasted, and masturbation as well, you know, just doing it for the sake of it. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, there's a couple of steps that I would like you to take. Hopefully now that starts to make sense of what sexual transmutation is, and it's about shifting energy from one place to another place. Because when you're watching, let's take porn for the example. When you're watching porn, how much do you realize you just stay in the zone, right? And it can be, for some guys, it can be hours watching porn, and it feels like it's been a minute. And that total focus, imagine the power of that. Imagine that focus on having impact, you having impact in the world. You would be unstoppable. So here is what I would like you to do. The first step is just to make a list of the different areas where you may be wasting some sexual energy. We've spoken about a couple, but just make a list of 3, 5 maximum different areas that you may be wasting your sexual energy today. And then the second step, step 2, is to just next to each one, make a note of, is this positive? Am I using my energy positively when I do this, or negatively? So you're listing all of the different ways in which you use sexual energy. It's maybe intimacy with a partner, it may be watching porn, masturbation, the 3 examples. And then next to each one, step 2, you're going to write, is it a positive use of this sexual energy or a negative use of this sexual energy? Okay, so it's time to go and do this. Go and make your list of those 3 to 5 things and just start looking at what comes up and reflect on that. And how you will know if this is working is if you identify some of the things on that list that are a negative use of sexual energy, or they don't quite feel good, a good use of time. So go and do that now, and if this video has been useful to you, then below you will see the link in the comments to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. And every week I do new videos like this, and also I'll send you exclusive recordings that are all linked to sexual transmutation, porn, hookups, and how to switch our mindset and change those patterns to be able to ultimately improve our relationships, to fix erection problems, and to avoid dead bedroom. Thank you.